Hey, what is going on, guys? Today we're going to be taking a look at tvOS 16. So usually Apple doesn't really talk about tvOS. They didn't even show it in the keynote when they announced all this stuff. And it was really hard to find actual release notes and what was changed in tvOS 16. Of course, you can go to System Settings, you can go to What's New, and you can see a few things that they added in, but that's it. And there's more features than that right there, of course. So I've compiled a list here of things that I found in tvOS 16, things I found on the internet, and then some other things as well. So let's go ahead and go over some changes here in tvOS 16. And by the way, I apologize for the not so good video quality. We're actually on the iPod Touch 7th generation today, but that's okay. This is a good device. It's trying its best. Okay, so first thing, let's talk about some support things here. So first off, of course, you can use game controllers on your Apple TV if you play Apple Arcade games, of course. So you can use different things like Xbox controllers, PlayStation controllers, stuff like that. Well, now they've added support for the Nintendo Switch controllers, so you can now use the Joy-Con and the Pro controller on your Apple TV, so that is pretty cool. Also, there is support for a buddy controller, so basically you can turn one controller into two, kind of, sort of, right? So you can kind of pass it back and forth in order to use that. So those are some changes there to game controller support. Another thing here has to do with cross-device compatibility. So this is really kind of a good example for Apple Fitness Plus. So basically your Apple TV is going to be able to work better with other devices like your Apple Watch, for example. So it could see your metrics on your workout, and it could better recommend things for you on your Apple TV. So cross-device compatibility with your other devices, your home devices, your phone, different things like that, has been improved as well. Now, since we're here looking at Fitness Plus, of course, for iOS 16, you no longer have to have an Apple Watch in order to use Fitness Plus, so that is pretty cool. But if you use Fitness Plus here on your Apple TV, they're now going to start displaying different intensities and better metrics on the screen as well. Now, I don't have Apple Fitness Plus, I don't work out, so I can't really show you that, but you'll see more information appearing in the top right or top left, whatever part of the screen it shows up for. If we go over here to Apple's TV app, we can scroll over to the Apple TV Plus section, and you can scroll down here to where they have different previews for some of the Apple original shows. Not quite sure where those are. I thought they were like right here. Well, there's somewhere on here you can see previews a little bit better for Apple TV Plus Originals. Maybe that's on the different tab, or maybe you actually have to have Apple TV Plus. You probably have to have Apple TV Plus in order to see those, but you'll be able to see kind of like a live preview. Oh, well, I guess that's it right there. I don't know. I don't have Apple TV Plus, but it reminds me of how Netflix does it, where you can see like a little mini preview of what you're about to watch. So you can now do that here in the TV Plus app. Now, speaking of watching things on your Apple TV Plus, we now have support for HDR10 or HDR10 Plus. So that is a pretty much standard HDR format now. So your Apple TV now supports that, which will basically allow you to not have to buy like new hardware or anything. You'll be able to get that, video stuff there here on your Apple TV. So that is pretty cool. So if you watch sports on your Apple TV through Apple TV Plus, you'll be able to actually create a My Sports section. So that way you can keep up with your favorite teams here on your Apple TV. So you can see down here at the bottom, it says follow your teams. And you can go on there, you can search all of your teams, and it will kind of compile them into a certain area so you can, of course, follow the latest games for your favorite teams. HomeKit is an important part of your Apple TV as well, so enabling your different HomeKit devices is about to get a lot better come this fall because there will be support for something called Matter. Now, this is going to be across all Apple devices. It's been in beta for quite some time, and it's on iOS 16, it's on Apple TV, it's on HomePod, any HomeKit enabled thing, of course. So, Matter is basically going to allow you to use all sorts of smart home devices and have them be added into HomeKit. So, you'll be able to add things like Amazon devices, Google devices, just all sorts of different stuff, and really just expand the capability of HomeKit and your home hub. So Matter support is here in tvOS 16. I believe, however, it doesn't be enabled until like the fall or something like that. Maybe next couple of releases of Apple software you'll be able to see that Matter. But yeah, that's very exciting for the industry coming up here, and you'll be able to do a whole lot of stuff with that. Now, if you have up here your family, right, in your Apple TV control center, you can have different profiles. That was introduced in tvOS 15. But now it's going to suggest family members to add to your Apple TV. So if I had a family plan and I had my different family members on there, they would populate up there next to me, and I could easily add them as a user on the Apple TV. So it'll make adding your family members' profiles much easier here. If you use AirPods on your Apple TV, you now have the ability to have a personalized spatial audio. Now, I'm not sure if I can access this without putting my AirPods in, because on my iPhone, when I installed iOS 16 and I put my headphones in for the first time, it prompted me with the personalized spatial audio setup. So you can kind of go through there. It does its little test and all that stuff to give you a personalized spatial audio experience. So if you wear headphones when you watch your Apple TV, spatial audio enabled AirPods or things like that, then you'll be able to have that experience as well. There's a few settings that have changed here. So the first one is to do with your time. So if I'm not sure where time actually is, probably in general. Yeah, so time format. You now have the ability to choose 24-hour time. So you can see if I click on it. I'm sorry for this camera quality, but yeah, it says 12-hour or 24-hour time right there. So if you want 24-hour clock, you can now enable that. There's also a couple of new accessibility features. So there's a new hover text feature, which is right here. So basically, this will kind of just read off the different ones here on your screen. So you can see up there, just kind of makes things easier to read. So as I scroll down, you can see it puts them in larger letters up top to let you know what you're about to select. So that is a new accessibility feature there. Also in accessibility, there is new voiceover voices. So you can now choose different voiceover voices here, right in here. So you can see them right in there. There's quite a few of them to choose from. So you can find the one that you like. And then another setting here is language support. So there's now multiple languages that you can choose from. Not quite sure where that is, but I believe it's under general somewhere. I'm probably totally missing it. You guys are probably freaking out. I bet it's under region. Maybe not. I don't know. But there's new language support here in... Oh, there it is, obviously. So you can go there, you can add a language, and you can see multiple languages to choose from. But you can now kind of switch back and forth between them. So that is pretty cool right there. And then the final thing I want to talk about is something that's actually on iOS 16 that I noticed. I thought it was pretty interesting. So if you have an iPhone with iOS 16, right? So if you go into Control Center, of course, we have the little Apple TV remote button that we can select here. I'm going to change this to my TV. Don't want to disturb the other room right now. But Yeah, we have the remote, of course. This is nothing new. We've had this for quite some time. But now I have noticed that, look, it's an app. You now have an Apple TV remote app. So that is pretty interesting, and you can close it just like any application. But as soon as you go into that remote, it turns into an app. And even if I got out of it and I go back, you can see there it is. So you now have a full Apple TV remote app, but the interesting thing is it's not an app icon. So it's nowhere to be found on the device. If you search, I think it was called Apple TV Remote, you can see that there's nothing. So very interesting there that it's a full-blown app now, but it doesn't appear on your home screen or your app library. But anyways, guys, other than that, I think the only other thing would be some wallpapers, maybe. I don't think I've noticed any new wallpapers, but they might. I don't think I've seen that one before. But yeah, guys, that's basically it for Apple TV OS 16. Let me know if there's anything I missed. It took a little while to kind of find that stuff out, but like I said, Apple TV updates usually don't have any notes hardly, so you kind of gotta research them or figure them out yourself. But anyways, guys, that's all I got for you today. Appreciate you watching the channel as always, and I will catch you all in the next video.